Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keep on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Who is this?
Big Bucket.
Big Buckus. Let's go ahead and get this party started, Bears fans.
Walter Payton, it's the man.
Finds Cole Kmet wide open. Touchdown, Bears.
Let me put it on again. Keep is on fire. I love it. I could probably beat him in the 40. Let's freaking go, Chicago Bears fans. Breaking news out of Chicago.
I think I can fit in as like a water boy for the Panthers or something. I'm not talking about getting on the field,
Put it right behind me so every time I'm on the podcast, like, you got Isaiah Fry's jersey? Hell yeah, I do.
Let's go.
You got on with the Bears organization. You got high up. Would I be like a water boy for you or something? What's going on? What role am I? Comment Bear down if you love Keek on the Mic and if you love the Chicago Bears.
Who is this?
Georgia's house.
And as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You can go and subscribe cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic.
What is going on, Chicago Bears fans? We have breaking news out of Chicago. The Chicago Bears have officially fired offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. Shane Waldron did not even make it a full season with the Chicago Bears. This was the expected move after Matt Eberflus came out and said, hey, there's going to be huge changes on the offensive side of the football. That means offensive passing game coordinator Thomas Brown is expected to take over for Shane Waldron. And this is the right move for the Chicago Bears, the right move for Caleb Williams, the right move for the entirety of the Chicago Bears offense. The Bears have scored 27 points over the last 3 games, and since their bye week and 3-game winning streak, things just were not working out in Chicago for offensive coordinator Shane Waldron, and he is now out the door as the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears. This news came very early in the morning. Everyone knows that I live out in Allen, California. The news broke at like 6:15 my time, a.m. here in California. Once again, giving you guys an initial reaction to the firing of offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. Like I said, it's not official word that Thomas Brown's going to take over quite yet, but that is the expected move, that Thomas Brown, the passing game coordinator for the Chicago Bears, will take over. And yes, it just came out that Thomas Brown will replace Waldron as OC. And once again, we talked a little bit about Thomas Brown yesterday, in yesterday's podcast, when this was going to be the expected move for Shane Waldron to be either demoted or fired as OC. Thomas Brown was the offensive coordinator in 2023 for the Carolina Panthers. And it was a small sample size, right? But in his time as the passing game as the OC for the Carolina Panthers, he was 29th in points per game, 32nd in yards per game. But truthfully, I don't even look at that because of the personnel that he had with the Carolina Panthers. It wasn't like he had all the talent in the world, right? He had, Bryce Young as a rookie, even though you're dealing with Caleb Williams. He had Adam Thielen, right? The pieces just weren't there. I think he had 4 rookies in total with that Carolina Panthers offense. Now he gets to inherit, to me, a pretty decent offense. Like I said, will this light a spark with the offense? We'll have to wait and see. We're playing a really tough opponent in the Green Bay Packers this week. So the first domino has fallen for the Chicago Bears. The Bears have fired offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. This was the expected move. Go ahead and drop your initial reaction in the chat. As always, Bears fans, make sure you do me a huge favor by liking today's live stream. This is a really, really early live stream. I'm not really used to doing this, but I did want to break this news to you guys as soon as possible because this is absolutely huge news for the Chicago Bears. Like I said, I think it's going to be just a change of scenery for Caleb Williams. We saw over the last couple of weeks that Caleb Williams was regressing as a player. And I think it had a lot to do with the inability of Shane Waldron to really be creative in his play calling, right? And just not doing what was best for the offense and Caleb Williams to really progress, right? And the thing that's upsetting here is that, Shane Waldron is officially the last scapegoat for head coach Matt Eberflus. If Thomas Brown can't come in and get the offense on the right track, Matt Eberflus will at that point need to go because this is going to be technically the third offensive coordinator that Matt Eberflus has had during his tenure as Chicago Bears head coach. So obviously this is unfortunate news because we all had high hopes for offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. But at the end of the day, Jackson Smith-Njigba tried to tell us a couple of months ago during the offseason when he had nothing good to say about Shane Waldron. And once again, this is another failed hire by Matt Eberflus. And Matt Eberflus, in my opinion, should be held accountable for this move, right? So obviously, once again, this is going to be a scapegoat for head coach Matt Eberflus. He's probably hoping and praying that Thomas Brown can come in and make something happen. Make something happen with this offense, right? This struggling offense that has been putrid in the first quarter. Once again, they've only scored 27 points in the last 3 games. I believe they're 29 straight drives without scoring a touchdown. They were absolutely putrid under offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. I feel like this was the right move for Matt Eberflus and the Chicago Bears. But hopefully by bringing in Thomas Brown and elevating him as the OC, hopefully that will, create a spark for the Chicago Bears offense moving forward. Once again, excited for opportunity for Thomas Brown. I know that he did interview for our offensive coordinator position early on in the offseason before they hired Shane Waldron. Thomas Brown had a couple of offensive coordinator interviews, and also he had an interview as a head coach as well this past offseason. There's a lot of people around the NFL saying that he is a bright offensive mind, and I know there's probably going to be a lot of people inside the building and also around the National Football League that are excited to see what Thomas Brown is able to do with the Chicago Bears offense. So initially, I do expect a spark with elevating Thomas Brown. I think Shane Waldron was a huge problem with this offense. Once again, even last game, you saw when, things weren't working, Caleb Williams just went to the sideline and just sat on the bench, and they were like separated. So the offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron, and your franchise quarterback and Caleb Williams weren't even talking on the sideline. That's when you knew that there needed to be a huge change here in Chicago. And Matt Eberflus, even though he insinuated it yesterday in his press conference, they fired offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. So go ahead and ask any questions you guys want in the chat. I'll stay here for just a couple of minutes if you guys have any questions. Once again, I'm in agreement with the move. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love the move. I think it was what was needed. But at the same time, I feel like I just don't trust Matt Eberflus. I think he's also a huge problem. This is it for Matt Eberflus. Like, you're going to bring up Thomas Brown, right? And that's fine. But this is absolutely it. If this does not work, Matt Eberflus is done. This is Matt Eberflus' last scapegoat as the Chicago Bears head coach. Joe Ament asked in the chat says, how much new offense can you implement before Packers game? No, it's not going to be anything new, right? Thomas Brown's going to keep the same concepts, but doesn't mean Thomas Brown can't call a better game plan. I think Thomas Brown may have these guys more prepared, right? Shane Waldron never really planned anything. You could tell, like, he just never scripted anything for the first 15 plays, right? I think Thomas Brown will have these guys more prepared, in my personal opinion. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Matt Eberflus. Like I said, he's safe. This is a scapegoat for Matt Eberflus by firing one of his coordinators. That's just how it goes. But we'll see. We'll see. This, sometimes when you fire a coach that has been a problem inside your locker room, and, obviously guys have made so many comments about Shane Waldron discreetly, right? Maybe this is the spark that the offense needs, and then maybe they'll rally this weekend against, to me, a very tough Green Bay Packers opponent and rally around Thomas Brown. I think Thomas Brown was obviously the most obvious option. They could have went with quarterbacks coach Kerry Joseph as well, but he has no experience as a play caller at the NFL level. So that's why they ended up just going with Thomas Brown, which to me is the perfect candidate. And it's kind of weird because they interviewed him to be their offensive coordinator. He didn't get the job. It went to Shane Waldron, and then they still were able to hire Thomas Brown as the passing game coordinator. And now he's the new OC for the Chicago Bears. So I think it's funny how things work out. Someone asked, do you think the players will be happy and put forth more of it? I think they will. Whenever it's a change, when you have a disagreement with the coach and you make a change like this, I think the players, once again, will rally around Thomas Brown and put their full effort forward. I think we're going to see, to me, even though it's going to be the same type of plays, I think we're going to see more effort from the Chicago Bears roster this weekend, especially the type of game that we're playing in this weekend, right? We're playing the Green Bay Packers. We have lost 10 in a row to this Packers team. So obviously I think the Bears are going to play hard. I think it's going to start with guys like, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore. DJ Moore has been, vividly frustrated with this offense. And now, you fire the problem, or at least you think the problem with this offense in Shane Waldron. You bring up Thomas Brown. I think players will play with a little bit more of an edge this weekend against the Green Bay Packers. Michael says, how do you hire such an incompetent OC? I don't know. And this is why Matt Eberflus also needs to be on the hot seat, because he hasn't been a good head coach overall, but he continues to hire these incompetent offensive coordinators that are not doing any good for our young quarterback or the offense as a whole, right? And once again, this is just another scapegoat. And it's like, I blame the McCaskey family. I blame Ryan Poles, because at the end of the day, there were better candidates out there other than Shane Waldron, right? You had Cliff Kingsbury. I mean, you missed on him, right? And it's just like, this has to be held accountable by Matt Eberflus as well, because how many coordinators is he going to get until you fire him as well, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how Thomas Brown comes in. And like I said, if Thomas Brown comes in and saves this offense, that means Matt Eberflus may be saved as well. Who knows? Because at the end of the day, if Thomas Brown can come in and give this offense some life, that means the Bears will probably have a better chance on winning some football games down the road. Jane Johnson said, will they run the same offense play setter? If so, will it change? I think it will be the same concepts, because once again, we're in the middle of the season. So it's probably going to be the same concept, but I could definitely see some change, right? Just be more prepared. I think one of the things, one of the big things with Shane Waldron is just the creativity that he lacked as a play caller, and just seemed like being unprepared. I think Thomas Brown's going to be seen, as a slight upgrade, and a guy that may come with a little bit more creativity. Once again, his experience with the Carolina Panthers in a small sample size wasn't good. But I'm just excited for the change and excited for the opportunity from Thomas Brown, because I think he will have these guys more prepared than what Shane Waldron had over the last couple of weeks. Yeah, and that's the big thing. You're still dealing with the offensive line that can't block. And once again, I just think Thomas Brown, his first thing is he has to allow Caleb Williams to play free, routine completions, like easy 5-yard completions. We don't need to overcomplicate things. And hopefully he can get Caleb Williams back on track as the offensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears. Someone said, from a fantasy football perspective, who will benefit most from this move? Probably a guy like DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift, some of the guys, maybe even like a Cole Kmet, right? I think these guys would benefit the most, because once again, that's been like one of the biggest problems, that Cole Kmet has not been more involved in this offense. And I'm pretty sure Thomas Brown's sitting here thinking right now, like, you know what, we have one of the best tight ends in the National Football League. We need to get this guy more involved, right? So I think Thomas Brown will have idea, and I'm pretty sure that we will probably be hearing from Thomas Brown here pretty soon. But I'm excited to see his vision, because even though he's probably gonna be running the same concepts as Shane Waldron, I'm excited to see what his plan and his vision is for Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears offense. I do plan to see hopefully a faster start this Sunday against the Green Bay Packers. I'm really, really, really hoping that Thomas Brown can make some changes for the better for this offense. Yeah, Shane Johnson, you're absolutely right. We will probably run the ball more, just in different ways as well. There's different ways that you can get the running game going. I would love to see a little bit more of Roschon Johnson. I'm excited to see what Thomas Brown does. I'm really, really excited to see what Thomas Brown does. S. Anderson says, I'm tired of mediocre teams, but now the worst is certainly our team of coaches. I'm tired of mediocre teams, but now the worst certainly our team of coaches from Brazil. Thank you so much for commenting from Brazil. I really, really appreciate you. Yeah, mediocre coaching has been what the Chicago Bears have been about for years. And hopefully Ryan Poles and McCaskey family can finally get out of their own way. Once again, it's something new. I'm not trying to sit here and have high expectations and lie to you guys and say that, oh, it's going to be absolutely great right away. But I think a change was needed. Thomas Brown was the most qualified candidate to be elevated as the OC. So let's give him an opportunity and see what he can do with the Chicago Bears offense. Once again, Bears fans, do me a huge favor by hitting the subscribe button. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers. Make sure you like today's live stream as well. The breaking news out of Chicago is that the Bears have fired OC Shane Waldron, and Thomas Brown is expected to take over as the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears. Obviously, this is big news. Big news. This is what Bears fans wanted. Obviously, the Bears fans also wanted Matt Eberflus fired as well. But we will take this news as well. Any news that we can get. I think this is one of the things that needed to happen. And I think, even though Matt Eberflus has been bad, I think one of the big things is that, the defense has been pretty solid all season long. They've been the strength of this football team. And obviously Matt Eberflus is calling the defensive plays, and it's been the offense that's been struggling. But my thing is this: Matt Eberflus has been hiring these offensive coordinators. So why is he not being held accountable? How many offensive coordinators is he going to get until you're like, you know what? Yeah, you're not it, right? You're not it at all. Someone said, wake me up when they dump Poles. Yeah, I think Ryan Poles at least has one more season, right? One more season to, fix the offensive line and make some changes. Jason says, was hoping Chris Morgan went with him. O-line looked confused. Yeah, and that's amazing that Chris Morgan has been safe this whole time. I think it's because he's really good buddies with Matt Eberflus. But there definitely needs to be some massive changes. Some massive changes for sure. But this is big news. Like I said, I think this is the move that needed to be made here in Chicago. I'm excited, I guess, that for once Matt Eberflus, said, hey, it wasn't working. I wish he would have did the same thing with Lou Getsy last season, but it's a true testament that maybe that things could, I don't want to say be changing, because the Bears are still a terrible football team, right? And it's just not good. I think Matt Eberflus is still a huge problem, but it's good that they recognized that there was a problem with the offense, and they were proactive with it this time. They're like, you know what, Shane Waldron, you're not doing good. You need to go, right? So. Yeah, just like Jason said, I had to put this comment up because it says some change is better than no change. And it's the truth, right? Bears organizations for years and years would just, in the past, leave Shane Waldron to struggle, right? And just leave it for the whole year and then fire him after the season. They were proactive this time, and they made a huge move. And I think I respect them for that. I really do. Someone asked, do you think that this change can have the effect? It could have a small effect. I wouldn't say we're going to be like, oh, now we're Super Bowl champions, right? Maybe the offense can get a little bit more of a rhythm. I still think we're going to struggle against our own division, because our division is the best division in the National Football League. But I think Shane Waldron was a huge problem with this offense. Once again, the lack of creativity. Obviously Caleb Williams has regressed over the last couple of weeks. I don't think the offensive line has done this offense any favors either. But I can definitely see a little bit of a change with this offense. I think there will be a little spark lit just because it's going to be new, right, for these players. They were fed up with Shane Waldron. I think they are going to rally around Thomas Brown. I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to beat the Green Bay Packers, but I definitely think you're going to see more of a spark with the Chicago Bears offense this Sunday. Once again, thank you guys so much for the interactions as we're here talking about the Bears firing offensive coordinator Shane Waldron in a big move this morning by Matt Eberflus. Someone asked, Keek, what do you expect from the change? I expect just a more, I would say, more balanced offense, right? Just easy completions for Caleb Williams. I think he understands Thomas Brown because, once again, he's had experience working with Bryce Young as well in 2023. And it's one of those things that you have to put Caleb Williams in good situations, easy routine throws. Obviously, Caleb Williams has struggled with those intermediate throws for some reason, but it starts with Caleb Williams, his footwork. just playing more free. And I hope Thomas Brown allows Caleb Williams to play free, and they're going to get back to the running game and just make things easier. It just has to happen. Just has to happen. I expect a spark from his offense for sure. Someone said on ESPN 1000 when they said breaking news, I thought Eberflus got fired. Yeah, when I saw the news, I was like, please be Eberflus, please be Eberflus. But hey, I'll take Shane Waldron as well. They're both terrible in their own right. Someone says, do you think Flus is next before season's over? No, Matt Eberflus will be safe until the end of the season at least. Ray says, how can Caleb play free when he's getting sacked 9 FN times? And I definitely agree with your frustration, but at the same time, there's definitely play calls where you can get the ball out of his hands super fast, right? Because you have the talent. You have guys in Keenan Allen and DJ Moore and Roma Dunze that are really good route runners that can get open. Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, right? DeAndre Swift out of the backfield. Get the ball out of his hands quick. Don't let the offensive line, truly be a factor. And I understand that sounds silly to say, but it's the truth. Get rid of the ball fast, quick, easy completions. Remember, 5 + 5 = a first down. And that's a big thing. I just think the players overall need to execute better as well. Just need to show pride for their new offensive coordinator in Thomas Brown. Like I said, I'm excited for the move. But once again, Bears fans, the Bears have fired offensive coordinator Shane Waldron in a huge move. Once again, do me a huge favor and smash that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers. Once again, I'll probably come out with some more videos this week to maybe just break down what to expect with Thomas Brown as the new OC of the Chicago Bears. Once again, let's just give the guy a chance and see what he can do as OC. Once again, a change was needed, and Matt Eberflus and the Chicago Bears have made that change by firing offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. But as always, Bears fans, have a really good rest of your day. And as always, to every single one of you guys, bear down.